Chapter 681, Shiyu vs. Fox God, 4. Chapter 681, Shiyu vs. Fox God, 4. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. At the same time, the Fox God clone had already locked onto the invader through Yue and the Star Moon Fox. It stared at the evil-looking grey-robed old man in the sky. The size and length of its 9 tails suddenly multiplied. Each of them turned into a huge tail dozens of meters long that reached the sky, spreading white light as it slapped at the ice-eyed tiger spirit. Boom! The sound of air being torn was strong. The power of the super skill, 9-tail dance, was destructive. Lord Fox God? Wu Tilda. At this moment, Yue and the Star Moon Fox's hearts completely relaxed. They felt that they had survived. At the same time, the power of faith towards the Fox God became stronger. In their opinion, if the Fox God attacked, this evil beast tamer who had invaded the Moon Lord Holy Land would definitely be helpless. GGG. Little Fox, if you want to defeat me with your clone, cultivate for another 100 years. As soon as he finished speaking, grey mist condensed. Another green-scaled dragon spirit with an even greater aura as well as the mountain tortoise spirit appeared beside the ice-eyed tiger spirit. The 3 overlord undead roared in unison and attacked together. The green-scaled dragon spirit swung its dragon claw down, and the mountain on the back of the mountain tortoise spirit materialized and exploded. The ice-eyed tiger spirit also roared and swept up snow. Boom! In the dust mist of the 9 tails and 3 moves, Yue and the Star Moon Fox's pupils constricted. 3 overlords. Who exactly was the other party? Such strength was top-notch in any totem country. Iron-eating beast legendary mystic realm. The Fox God, the Holy Maiden, and even the overlords of some city-states were still facing these mysterious factions that had come to the Heavenly Fox Nation. The reason why they started a confrontation was that the other party's faction was also very strong. A totem came. This was a dark element totem that looked like a black goat, emitting an ominous aura. The spokesperson of this black goat totem was a beast tamer in black. His expression was extremely calm as he said, "Honorable Lord Fox God, we came with great sincerity. This ruin is undoubtedly a sealed ruin, and there's the aura of our fallen race inside. We only want to help our clansmen unseal it. That's all. We're willing to exchange a level 8 resource for the right to control the ruin." The huge Fox God was silent. It was only a level 8 resource. Who did they think they were looking down on? This was a legendary ruin. Without 2 legendary resources, it was definitely impossible for others to explore. Fox, don't refuse our goodwill. After a day of negotiation, the black goat totem was already extremely irritable. It said, "Don't think that you can raise the price on the spot just because you have the protection of the Heavenly Wolf Nation. I'll give you a chance to rely on my master. Otherwise, what are you planning?" The Fox God looked at the black goat with a smile. The black goat totem also sneered and said, "Of course, we'll show you a bit of our strength." The Fox God chuckled. A mere goat dared to threaten it? Did it really think that the Heavenly Fox Nation relied on the protection of the Heavenly Wolf Nation to survive until now? The Fox God was completely not afraid of the threat of the black goat, but suddenly, it revealed a sullen expression and said, "So, is this your show of strength to us?" Boom! The Fox God's fierce aura directly erupted, stunning the black goat totem and the others. "Moon, your city-state has been invaded," the Fox God said. Its gaze locked onto the invader in front of it fiercely. As soon as it finished speaking, the Moon God Fox behind the Fox God also rose in anger and looked at this group of people. At the same time, the other Overlord Foxes and the Beast Tamers led by the Heavenly Fox Sainters gathered here also suddenly emitted killing intent. Black Goat Totem, legend by Tron of the Ku Yuan Financial Group. Scam? When did they invade Moon City? Boom! A violent energy wave rose from this place. In the distance, the Butterfly God, Legend Ku, G-Phone, and the others, who were still hiding, had already tried to transmit the situation here back to Dong Huang. With the people from the Ku Yuan Financial Group around, they had to keep them here. However, they looked at the fluctuations of the totem battle in the distance and fell into deep thought. Why did they start fighting? Chapter 682, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 1. Chapter 682, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 1. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Moon City. A violent explosion sounded in the Holy Land. The fox god statue also appeared. At this moment, the beast tamers in Moon City had already determined what was going on. The Moonlight family's master summoned his monarch fox with red eyes and rode it towards the Moon Lord Holy Land. At the same time, the city guards in Moon City and the beast tamers of the many beast tamer families in Moon City also rushed to the Moon Lord Holy Land one by one. In Moon City, the fox god statue was supreme. On top of that, the Moon Lord Holy Land was inviolable. Now, battle fluctuations that resounded through the sky came from the Moon Lord Holy Land. Clearly, a huge change had happened. Soon, the Moonlight family had arrived outside the Holy Land. The nearby city guards were even faster than them, but the hundreds of city guards beast tamers gathered around didn't dare to approach the Holy Land at all. The pets of these ordinary city guards were not foxes. There were pets of various races. At this moment, the pets also had fear on their faces, completely stunned by deterrence. The Battle of Overlords was not something these commander and transcendent pets could interfere in at all. That's... After the Moonlight family's master arrived, he looked at the sky of the Holy Land in shock. A huge white nine-tailed fox was fighting 3 undead. The nine-tailed fox's divine might was peerless. Its 3 opponents, the Flood Dragon Spirit, the Tiger Spirit, and the Turtle Spirit, each had an incomparably terrifying deterrence. However, after a battle, the nine-tails swept over, and the 3 undead attacking it immediately retreated in defeat. However, there were 3 opponents, and they were all overlords. The Moonlight family's master could also tell that the fox god couldn't let out all its might. Because the nine-tailed heavenly fox wanted to protect the city-state, it was very difficult for it to fight with all its might. The Battle of Overlords could destroy cities. The Battle of Totems could even destroy countries. In order to protect its citizens, the fox god was controlling the aftermath of the battle. Fox god Phantom. Overlord Undead. Has Yui? After the Moonlight family had arrived, he immediately cared about his daughter. His daughter had just entered the Moon Lord Holy Land. He wanted to enter with a panicked expression, but the Star Moon Fox beside him immediately stopped him. Calm down, the Overlord battle isn't something we can interfere in. Be it the deterrence emitted by the Fox God's projection or the deterrence emitted by the 3 undead overlords, they made it difficult for ordinary monarchs to move. But Yui. Let's inform the Moon Lord to return to the city first, the Star Moon Fox said. In the Holy Land. Shiyu quietly guarded the altar and also controlled the 3 overlord undead to not let the aftermath of the battle affect them. He was a little regretful now. Why did he have to cosplay as a villain? In the end, he provoked the fox god's projection. If he could restart it, he wanted to be a good person and be friends with this lady in front of him. After coaxing the little girl, he would leave quietly. It was not fun to pretend to be a villain at all. It was easy to kick the wrong target that happened to have plot armor. What kind of ordinary level 6 beast tamer had the protection of totem clones? At this moment, the female beast tamer and her Star Moon Fox, who had entered the Holy Land at the start, were directly knocked out by the deterrence in the Battle of the 4 Overlords. Buggy in Shiyu's pocket teleported her over. Buggy's dream-stealing abilities still successfully entered her dream, making Shiyu understand what was going on. It turned out that the Fox God had given every genius of the Heavenly Fox Nation a protective blessing. With this blessing, the projection clones of the hundreds of fox statues in the Heavenly Fox Nation could become the bodyguards of these geniuses. The Moon God Fox actually went to the ruins mystic realm? The Fox God, the Heavenly Fox Saintess, and most of the main battle power of the Heavenly Fox Nation went over there. A mysterious faction is confronting the Heavenly Fox Nation outside the ruins. Wait, this mysterious faction can't be the Butterfly God and the others, right? Don't tell me they've been exposed. Then have I caused trouble to them now? Shiyu really obtained a lot of useful information from this young lady of Moon City. His expression kept changing. He didn't want to be delayed here any longer. He also wanted to hurry to the ruins with the gem cat to take a look. He felt guilty. Although he was using old Demon Lin's identity now, it was still easy for there to be a misunderstanding. Am I? At this moment, Kai Tong reminded Shiyu that at this rate, the 3 Overlord Undead might be blown up by this Fox God projection. The power of this Fox God projection seemed to be continuously increasing. In the sky, the Fox God's 9 tails slapped down and directly smashed the mountain tortoise spirit into the ground. If it weren't for the fact that this turtle's defense was strong, it would have already lost its ability to fight. The Absolute Zero of the Ice-Eyed Tiger Spirit was originally extremely resistant to energy moves, and even more so to this kind of mental clone. However, the reaction speed of this Fox God clone was actually not inferior to Ling, who had top-notch intelligence. It directly crossed the snowstorm and sent the Tiger Spirit flying. Only the Flood Dragon Spirit was a little stronger. Coupled with the Transcendent Dragon Might and Reverse Scale, it could restrain the Fox God projection. Am I? Kai Tong suggested something according to the movie plot it had seen. It would use this Totem Country's beast tamer as a hostage to force the Fox God to yield. They could strive to walk further and further onto the path of the villain. That projection clearly doesn't have high intelligence. Shiyu directly refuted Kai Tong's suggestion. Although this projection's battle power wasn't weak, it didn't seem to have any consciousness. It had protected its genius for so long. How could it let its protected target be knocked out by the battle deterrence and then be picked up by the enemy? It's almost done. At this moment, the gem cat was hiding and protecting the starry sky altar and the egg in the Overlord battle beside it. It stared at the egg with a burning gaze and said to Shiyu, "Hold on for another 2 minutes." Chapter 683, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 2. Chapter 683, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. That's good. Shiyu heaved a sigh of relief. However, at this moment, something unexpected happened. As the aura strengthened again, the Fox God projection that didn't look intelligent just now gradually cleared its eyes. Its 9 huge tails swept over with a boom and directly sent the Flood Dragon Spirit flying, forcing Kai Tong to control the Flood Dragon Spirit to retreat. Who are you? The Fox God projection revealed an angry expression. Its golden pupils looked at the grey-robed old man who was holding the genius of the Heavenly Fox Nation hostage. Its anger increased. Let go of her, or bear the consequences. Shiyu was stunned. It was conscious now? Moreover, Shiyu looked at the other party. It actually really cared about this little genius. However, it was just right. He had to put on a full show. After this, he would never do it again. He wasn't planning on killing her like the female beast tamer from the Divine Tree Nation. From the dream memories of the beast tamer they searched, if they didn't consider the position of the country, this person was really a good person. She helped the poor in various ways and punished evil and spread good. She especially hated the totem countries that used humans as food and squeezed humans dry. On the other hand, she looked forward to Dong Huang very much. She was very curious about the human countries like Dong Huang, making Shiyu feel that it was very unsuitable to kill her. Even if this guy might become Dong Huang's enemy in the future, at least she wasn't now, not yet. It was still fundamentally different from the beast tamer from the Divine Tree Nation who hunted Dong Huang's beast tamers. In addition, Shiyu still didn't know the situation on the Butterfly God's side, or whether or not they were confronting the Fox God's main body. He couldn't expand the conflict. Good deeds would still be rewarded. The beast tamer in Shiyu's hand directly saved her own life by being good. Shiyu chuckled and said, "Do you want her to live?" The 3 undead overlords retreated and moved in front of Shiyu. Shiyu held the beast tamer hostage and faced the Fox God's projection. At the same time, as the battle temporarily stopped, a large number of Moon City beast tamers led by the Moonlight family's master entered the Holy Land. In a boom, an army of hundreds entered together. Among them, the Moonlight family head looked at the grey-robed old man holding a hostage, his eyes filled with blood vessels. Let go of her. Your master has already surrendered. Do you still want to resist fearlessly? The fox god stared at Shiyu. Shiyu was stunned. He kept feeling that something was wrong. Even if the butterfly god and the fox god fought, it shouldn't be so fast, right? After all, it was the legendary second team of Lin Feng. If it weren't for the fact that it was born of the wrong gender, it might even have entered the first team. Its strength was close to a top-notch totem, so it was definitely stronger than the cat. It was a 100-year-old totem. It couldn't be that it couldn't even defeat the fox in the weakest totem country, right? Could it be that it wasn't the butterfly god and the others? The egg has been absorbed. We can slip away now. Upon hearing that, Shiyu relaxed and expressed his understanding. He gave Buggy and Kai Tong orders. At the same time, he looked at the fox god and the others. Master? The grey-robed Shiyu chuckled and said, looks like you misunderstood something. But forget it, I've already achieved my goal. I'll give her to you, but you have to let me leave. Otherwise, if a big battle breaks out, it won't be good for anyone. This city might become ruins. Shiyu was also unwilling to have a big battle in Moon City. After all, there were still millions of ordinary people in the city who weren't even beast tamers. If there was really a conflict, these people would die. From the way the fox god protected Moon City, it probably didn't want to have a conflict here. With that said, Shiyu didn't wait for the other party to answer and directly threw Yue and the Star Moon Fox at them. Don't participate in the world competition. Don't go and die with this little strength, Shiyu thought. At that time, the other enemies wouldn't be as kind as him. The totem countries were also enemies against each other. If it weren't for the fact that many totems were restraining each other and were also wary of each other, the Seven-Nation Alliance wouldn't be so stable. This made Shiyu feel that when he had the strength, he could subdue a few totem countries to play with. For example, didn't the Heavenly Fox Nation like to cozy up to powerful people? They could also cozy up to him. Moreover, the Space Emperor actually built the altar here. Perhaps since ancient times, this place had been Dong Huang's territory. The hostage was thrown over. At the same time, they disappeared collectively. They quickly took Yue and the Star Moon Fox. At the same moment, the fox god's projection flew into the sky and sensed the enemy's traces. But the expression of the fox god's projection darkened. The aura and energy wave had completely disappeared? How was this possible? A mere legend beast tamer. Who? On the super high clouds in the starry sky, a gem cat opened its starry eyes and sat on the clouds, flying leisurely. It said that its escape was first-rate. Do you want to come out and see the scenery? The gem cat knocked on the ruined space. Just as Shiyu came out, he was shocked. He grabbed the cloud cautiously as if he had lost half his life. Damn, why do you still know how to summon Sun Wukong's cloud? Sun Wukong? What's that? The gem cat was stunned. Shiyu said, cough, it's nothing. Shiyu felt that he was currently protected in a psychic barrier. The cloud's flying speed was very fast, but it made Shiyu feel very good. He said, did you hear what the fox god projection said just now? According to the memories I've investigated, the fox god's main body seems to have conflicted with some faction. Don't worry, it's not the butterfly god. The gem cat yawned and said, the tool President Lin gave me to contact the butterfly god is still intact. If something happens over there, I would know. Chapter 684, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 3. Chapter 684, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Shiyu grinned and said, that's good. Then let's go to the iron-eating beast ruins now. I can't wait anymore. The corners of the gem cat's mouth twitched. You just finished one thing, and now you're going to wreck the next set? The fox god's main body is over there. I think we should just snatch the iron-eating beast and leave. Don't think about the mystic realm anymore. The risk of this thing is too high. How can we do that? Didn't the prophecy say that there are iron-eating beast evolution materials inside? If it really doesn't work, then even if Dong Huang has to send a diplomatic mission to use resources to trade with the Heavenly Fox Nation, we have to get the iron-eating beast evolution materials. Shi Yu still felt that he couldn't give up the iron-eating beast evolution materials. Even if they had to buy it, if it was a useful evolution ingredient. He had to get it from the fox. Then I'll contact the butterfly god and the others, the gem cat muttered. Let's see what they've investigated first. At the foot of the mountain in the Heavenly Fox Nation, at the legendary Mystic Realm. The battle that was extremely short quickly ended. The Black Goat Totem and Legend Bai Chuan were extremely afraid. The Black Goat was even covered in injuries as it looked at the Fox God in shock. After just 2 exchanges, the Black Goat Totem understood that this fox was not as weak as the rumors said. Top-notch totem. It was definitely a top-notch totem battle power. Did it advance recently, or was it hiding its strength from the beginning to the end? Wait, I don't understand what you're saying. Although you're strong, don't bully goats too much. Otherwise, your Heavenly Fox Nation will definitely be plunged into misery and suffering. The huge black goat stood in the ruins. It looked at the white nine-tailed fox standing under the moonlight and starlight and wanted to retreat. Are you underestimating my cleansing power? Although it was stronger than the other party, the moment the collision occurred, the earth trembled and the mountains trembled. The fox god gave up attacking. It sensed an energy range that was difficult to expel on the black goat totem. The fox god was unhappy and didn't want to be infected by such a dirty thing. Even if you have some cleansing power, you think you can cleanse the radiation after my death? The black goat said the most cowardly words in the toughest tone. The fox god remained silent. That was true. Even if it could deal with this black goat, it would cause very bad luck. At the same time, the entire Heavenly Fox Nation would probably become a land of radiation. We came with sincerity. One legendary resource. After witnessing the strength of the fox god, black goat and the others also relaxed. Invading our city-state and wanting our ruins? You want to send us away with a legendary resource? Before the fox god could say anything, the huge moon god fox behind it glared at the enemy. I hash at % yuan hash yuan. The black goat only felt that this group of foxes was something else. When did they invade the city-state? This time, they only sent 2 people. How could they have the time to invade a city-state? Did the city-states of their Heavenly Fox Nation have anything to invade for? Did they have any valuable resources? It's not us. One legendary resource. Take it or leave it. There are no valuable resources in the ruins at all. It's just that our general is sealed. As long as we can save it, a legendary resource will immediately be offered. Chapter 685, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 4. Chapter 685, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 4. Translator, Atlas Studios Editor, Atlas Studios. Senior Butterfly God, long time no see. Shi Yu had just been sent over by the Gem Cat when he greeted the Butterfly God that he had not seen for a long time. Yes, long time no see. The Butterfly God looked at this old man strangely. It naturally knew the identities of the other 2 reinforcements. One was Dong Huang's new guardian Gem Cat, and the other was the number 1 person below the legendary level, the Minister of the Environmental Protection Department of Dragon Palace City, and the archaeologist of Bureau 11, Shi Yu. When it woke up, the Butterfly God was also very shocked. The newbie it blessed had actually become the number 1 super genius in Dong Huang. Shi Yu's sudden descent shocked the other 3. The Gem Cat's teleportation was too secretive. Even the Butterfly God didn't sense it, let alone Legend Ku, Ji-Feng, and the others. Seeing this gloomy old man, Legend Ku subconsciously said. He didn't know him. Was it a disguise? It was very normal to disguise oneself. The 3 of them had also done so. It's me. Shi Yu recovered his original voice and smiled at the 3 of them. His wrinkles trembled. Although the other party had also disguised themselves, he knew the name list and could roughly determine their identities. Holy shit! Upon hearing Shiyu's voice, Legend Ku and Legend Zhong were stunned. As for the originally silent Ji Feng, he directly spoke in disbelief. He was extremely stunned. Why are you here, and in this state? Why did they feel that it was even better than their disguise? After all, they had gotten the best disguise master in the 10th Bureau to help change their appearance. It's actually you. Legend Ku was also stunned. Holy shit, why did President Lin let Shiyu go too? It seemed normal. After all, it was said that this was the Iron-Eating Beast ruins. I want to know the exact situation now, Shiyu said. He frowned and looked into the distance where the world was changing. Legend Ku said, let me. The situation has changed. A group of factions has also targeted this ruin. Moreover, the two people from this faction are suspected to be the totems of the legendary helmsman of the Ku Yuan Financial Group, Bai Chuan, and the remaining faction of Yunnan. When Legend Ku finished speaking, Shiyu's expression changed. Are you sure? What was going on? Could it be that they looked in the direction of the ruins? Could it be that the so-called Iron-Eating Beast evolution materials in the ruins were Yunnan fragments? Otherwise, was there anything worth attracting Yunnan's faction? But no matter what, this was a good thing. Be it the Ku Yuan Financial Group or the Yunnan faction, they were both enemies that Dong Huang was currently searching for. It's basically confirmed. Although the Ku Yuan Financial Group's Bai Chuan has also changed, through the pet he contracted, we can basically confirm that it's him. Madame Chu Ling has already told us the specific information over there. Apart from the information that the legendary ruins might be the place where their Yunnan faction general was sealed, Chu Ling had already told Legend Ku and the others about the other information through her position. Then what should we do? Shiyu asked. We've already sent the news back to request support, Legend Ku said. If necessary, let's subdue that Bai Chuan first. But the situation has changed greatly. Just now, the Fox God had a certain conflict with the other party. The Butterfly God judged that the Fox God's strength might not be just at the ordinary totem level, and its strength might not be inferior to it. And now that the two totems have stopped moving, no matter what, we definitely can't carry out the mission perfectly with just us. So unless it's necessary, it's better to wait for reinforcement slowly. Was the Fox God so strong? Shiyu was stunned. However, the Fox God and Yunnan's faction had a conflict. Shiyu had a strange expression. It shouldn't have anything to do with him, right? He quickly looked at the old woman among the three and understood that it was a message from her. This old woman was also a member of the 10th Bureau. Her surname was Zhong, and she was at the legend level. Her beast-taming talent was very special, and it was teleportation. She could teleport her contracted pet to the place where the teleportation array was set up in advance. The greatest teleportation distance could cross the forbidden zone of the Lost World and 3 totem countries. She was an important member of the infiltration team who maintained contact with Dong Huang. Not long ago, she had already gotten her pet to send the news here back to Dong Huang as quickly as possible. If nothing went wrong, after Dong Huang received the news, they would immediately send strong reinforcements. It was even possible to directly send an army to pressure the Heavenly Fox with the excuse of the Heavenly Fox Nation luring the legends of the Seven Nation Alliance to betray the country. What about the Iron-Eating Beast? Didn't they say that there's an Iron-Eating Beast race around the ruins? Shiyu asked. The main mission this time was to bring this Iron-Eating Beast race back. According to the information, there were at least hundreds of Iron-Eating Beasts. The Iron-Eating Beasts are currently being guarded by an overlord of the Heavenly Fox Nation. Because there are a large number of traces of Iron-Eating Beasts at the ruins location, as well as traces of the Emperor Wu army, this ruin has been judged to be related to the Iron-Eating Beasts. They watch the Iron-Eating Beasts very closely and think that this group of Iron-Eating Beasts is the key to cracking the ruins, Legend Ku said. Although the security is very tight, it's not very difficult to take it away forcefully, the Butterfly God said. It depends on when we attack. Although that fox is more difficult to deal with than I imagined, its speed shouldn't be faster than mine. Moreover, I have rich experience dealing with fox spirits. The butterfly god let out an indignant and youthful voice. Shiyu was silent. He suspected that there was definitely a female fox in Lin Feng Legend's team. Next, Shiyu, Legend Ku, and the others kept exchanging information. Chapter 686, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 5. Chapter 686, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 5. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Including the battle power distribution in the legendary mystic realm, the information on the Black Goat being Dark Element, and the specific battle power information of Legend Baichuan, everything was shared with Shiyu one by one so as to make the next mission smoother. You should know the information about the 7 islands Baichuan, right? At this point, Legend Ku wanted to slack off because Shiyu had also gone to the 7 islands at that time. Baichuan was an important clue to the Ku Yuan financial group, the Poison Dragon Totem, and the Yunnan faction. Legend Ku believed that Shiyu, the Minister of the Environmental Protection Department, should know very well, so he wanted to skip it. However, Shiyu said, "Cough, tell me about it." The corners of Legend Ku's mouth twitched. Ku Yuan Financial Group's Baichuan, Beast Tamer Level 7. His beast taming talent is body control. Because of his beast taming talent, he has been learning the knowledge of biological modification from a mechanic since he was young. His body control talent can assist his pet in controlling various organs and even a hair in an incomparably exquisite manner. Therefore, his attainments in biological modification are very strong, and his pet's energy control is also very strong. Therefore, the 7 pets it contracted are all biological modification type pets. Apart from that, it's said that after reaching the legendary level, his body control talent can also allow him to control the changes in every organ and hair on his own. His control over his body has also reached a very high level. Because of this talent, his physical fitness is very strong. He can even mobilize his mind and soul power through body control and even develop spiritual power. However, due to the weak physique of humans, the 7 islands say that his special abilities are only comparable to commander-level pets, but you have to be wary of his hidden methods. Apart from that, his pets are. Legend Ku quickly introduced the information about Legend Baichuan to Shiyu. Shiyu was originally listening quietly, but as Legend Ku introduced this Legend Baichuan's beast-taming talent, Shiyu was stunned. He first thought that it was no wonder the Ku Yuan financial group could create the Poison Dragon Totem and use the power of Yunnan to modify creatures. It turned out that this Baichuan legend's beast-taming talent specialized in this aspect. Then, after hearing that Legend Baichuan could even use the body controller talent to control his body, mind, and soul energy, Shiyu's brain rumbled. In an instant, he felt that his thoughts were extremely smooth. When he studied the telepathy's talent and wanted to develop telepathy into a strengthening ability, what was he lacking the most? What he lacked was a way to control his various energies. Due to the aptitude of humans, apart from the beast-taming talent skill, it was very difficult for humans to control their energy. Even if Kai Tong possessed Shiyu, it would only directly consume Shiyu's strength. Although Shiyu's mental strength was not necessarily inferior to a monarch-level ferocious beast, he could not materialize his mental strength to condense psychic power. However, psychic power could be done by an awakening-level spiritual pet. If humans wanted to control energy other than the ability to control beasts, there was only one way. That was to become a hybrid and obtain the aptitude of other races. Therefore, it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens for Shiyu to control other energy and develop telepathy himself. However, Legend Baichuan's body control talent stunned Shiyu. He suddenly thought of a key problem. If he plundered the body control talent with the talent bead and could control his body, mind, and soul energy with the support of the talent bead, did that mean that he could try to fuse other energies and develop the telepathy talent? A plundered talent is ultimately an external force attached to a tool. Just like the awakening mirror, it can't grow. However, if I can plunder this control talent and develop my telepathy talent through the body control talent, making telepathy very strong. This way, as I grow, telepathy can continue to evolve infinitely. Everything will be my own strength, instead of relying on other people's talent. It was better to use other people's talent to develop his talent. This way, its value could be maximized. Apart from that, the functionality of body control sounds pretty good. It might help Ling study the 10th inscription and Icarine Phantom Ladot. At the thought of this, Shiyu seemed to have suddenly found the best candidate to use the talent bead he had obtained from Anchang. This legend by Chuan, who had joined the Yunnan faction. His talent was the best choice. What's wrong with you? Legend Ku realized that as he spoke, Shiyu's eyes were green. This disguise even had a flash effect. This Bai Chuan must be taken, Shiyu said. This kid is too critical. We can't let him escape. Moreover, we have to keep him alive. We can't kill him. If he killed it, he wouldn't be able to plunder the talent. Of course I know that. Legend Ku nodded. If he didn't squeeze enough information from Legend Bai Chuan, how could he let him die so easily? After everyone finished exchanging information, they waited. Not only were they waiting for Dong Huang's reinforcements, they were also waiting for the update on Chu Ling at the legendary ruins. The butterfly god used its skill to turn everyone's aura fluctuations into wind. By observing the situation here, it could react at the fastest speed. Chapter 687, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 6. Chapter 687, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 6. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. There's news. Before long, the old woman, Legend Zhong, held a jade stone and said, "It's news from Chu Ling." Shiyu, the butterfly god, Legend Ku, and Ji Feng looked at the old woman. Under everyone's gaze, this jade stone gradually turned black. This scene immediately made the old woman's expression change. Oh no, Chu Ling's identity is at risk of being exposed. Her current situation is very dangerous. As the old woman finished speaking, the expressions of many people changed. What should we do? Ji Feng immediately said solemnly. Although the intelligence officer of the 10th Bureau had ways to destroy all their memories in a crisis and ensure that everyone's identities weren't leaked, they would definitely be in huge danger, even if they could continue the mission. It was obvious that the other party was in an extremely dangerous situation. Shiyu's expression also changed. This person was Master Chu Jie's daughter, right? I'll go save her. This is also part of the mission. Shiyu said, "You guys wait for the news here. Don't worry, we won't be exposed." Shiyu summoned the gem cat almost without hesitation and went to the legendary ruins together. These missions could be interrupted, but he couldn't let anything happen to Master Chu Jie's daughter in the Heavenly Fox Nation. Outside the legendary ruins, the Heavenly Fox army of more than 10,000 people stood neatly together. Among them, a woman was extremely panicked and understood that a big problem was about to happen. Ever since she came to the Heavenly Fox Nation, she had never joined the official faction because the risk of being exposed was too high. This time, because the matter of the legendary ruins of Emperor Wu was very important, she had no choice but to take the risk and use various connections to enter the Heavenly Fox Guard to investigate more information. Although she had already expected this moment, Chu Ling was still a little afraid. Her heart was thumping. Although her mental fortitude was pretty good, the totem-level fox god stood in the sky and looked down at them. After that, overlord-level foxes appeared one after another. Under this pressure, as a top-notch master, Chu Ling really couldn't breathe. Ha, are you looking for spies? At the side, the black goat totem that flew over looked at this group of cute humans and chuckled. Beside him, Legend Bai Chuan was expressionless. His gaze was more focused on the illusory legendary ruin door that connected heaven and earth. The method to crack this ruin was what he was most concerned about. Unfortunately, after so many days, the Heavenly Fox Nation still couldn't crack this legendary seal ruin. Unfortunately, they temporarily couldn't find a very good way to crack this sealed ruin. Under the fox god's gaze, through some unknown method, its gaze focused on a middle-aged beast tamer in the army. Under its gaze, the middle-aged man was covered in sweat, his eyes filled with fear. No, spare me, Lord Fox God, spare me. The middle-aged man let out a miserable cry and was pulled into the sky by a wave of spiritual power. Then, with a miserable cry, he fainted and was thrown to the ground by the fox god. A spy from the heavenly wolf nation? The fox god's expression was unfriendly. It was rare for it to wake up. It didn't expect this much trouble. Its bootlicker actually dared to plant people in his territory? It looked at a woman with a fox beside her. After looking over, the middle-aged woman was instantly shocked. Just like the outcome of the middle-aged man from before, the middle-aged woman was instantly pulled out, her memories extracted, and thrown out. In the next moment, another pale young man was pulled out and thrown out. The corners of the mouths of the black goat totem and legend by Tron twitched. How many spies did this heavenly fox nation have? Under the repeated searches of the fox god, soon, 6 spies were pulled out, making the heavenly fox saintess and the overlord foxes reveal unfriendly expressions. Son of a B*TCH. Soon, the fox god's gaze landed on a captain of the heavenly fox guard, a woman in her 20s. Her expression was calm and she kept silent. She looked at the fox god and was filled with piety. "You're pretending very well," the fox god said coldly and looked at Chu Ling. These words almost made Chu Ling cry. The fox god's psychic wave enveloped over. As for Chu Ling, she seemed to have resigned to her fate. Her expression was filled with despair. Fortunately, Chu Ling knew that her memories had the ability to self-destruct and that her identity wouldn't be leaked. However, she was about to die. Chu Ling was still very desperate. Buzz. Psychic power enveloped over. At this moment, a spatial crack opened behind Chu Ling. A powerful psychic power emitted and bounced back the fox god's psychic power, making the fox god's expression change. Then, the spatial crack stretched out a hand and pulled Chu Ling into an alternate space. At this moment, the fox god, the heavenly fox saintess, the black goat totem, and even the overlords were shocked. Especially the fox god, who was immediately furious. Spatial element totem, the black goat's gaze was even filled with fear. It felt that this heavenly fox nation was simply a place filled with dragons and tigers. Since you're here, don't even think about leaving. At the totem level, transcendent life forms could optimize their race and create their own skills. Every totem level more or less cultivated methods against the spatial element, and the fox god was naturally no exception. Chapter 688, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 7. Chapter 688, Talent Plundering, Target Candidate, 7. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Although it felt that its spatial attainments were inferior to the guy who saved the spy, the fox god immediately erupted with the greatest strength to stop the rescuer. In the alternate space, Shiyu and the gem cat, who had pulled Chu Ling into the alternate space, had panicked expressions, but not especially worried. "Don't worry, cat. I have the protection of the dragon god, I'll protect you. We won't die no matter what." In order to let the cat drive in peace, Shiyu kept comforting it. As for the gem cat, it was cursing. At this moment, Chu Ling was the most shocked. She looked at the white alternate space she was inexplicably pulled into, at the grey-robed old man who was pulling her, and at the transcendent gem cat. She was very confused. Boom! What the gem cat didn't want to talk to Shiyu now. As the space vibrated, the gem cat's scalp went numb. "Sit tight, let's drive." Boom! Cracks appeared in the alternate space. The huge impact made the people and beasts in the alternate space spin. Soon, the gem cat laughed. "Ha ha 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 ha, little fox, you're still too young to fight with big sister cat." "How is it?" "My skill." After the gem cat instantly left the vicinity of the legendary ruins, it laughed smugly. It looked at Shiyu and Chu Ling and decided to take credit. However, it looked at the shocked Chu Ling in silence and said, "Little girl, where's that old man?" Chu Ling was at a loss. "Yeah, where is he?" "The gem cat?" The cat's gaze exploded. The entire person was gone? "Where is he?" The gem cat shouted in shock. Then, it suddenly fell silent. Danger was impossible. Even if it was insta-killed, Shiyu himself would be fine. Dragon God protection wasn't just for show. The gem cat suddenly had a bad feeling. At this moment, the fox god and the others also had a bad feeling. At this moment, they were in no mood to pay attention to the spatial totem and the spy who had been rescued. Buzz! At that moment, the violent vibration of the legendary ruined space made many people look over. In the legendary sealed ruins, a figure descended inside. Now, the most stunned was clearly Shiyu. He originally wanted to go over and protect the gem cat. After all, although the gem cat's attack power wasn't weak, its defense was inferior to 11's. In order to ensure that nothing happened to the gem cat, he went over together and used himself as a shield for the gem cat to block the possible threat. The danger didn't happen. It successfully escaped from the fox god again. Shiyu was convinced by its reputation as a coward cat. However, the moment he pulled Chu Ling in, Shiyu was also depressed. Because the moment the spatial crack opened, he heard a voice. "What's your relationship with that turtle?" Then, he was directly sucked here by the spatial vortex born with the spatial crack. Trash Dragon God protection, you're not very smart. How could you not block this? After Shiyu arrived at this new space, his expression immediately changed because he instantly sensed an energy wave similar to Yunnan. However, in the next moment, what shocked Shiyu even more was the woman who appeared in front of him. This was a spiritual body that looked like an illusion. She was wearing the armor of the Emperor Wu dynasty during the Emperor Wu dynasty era and had a calm expression. What shocked Shiyu the most was that this guy was too similar to the panda senior, Lin Xiuju. It could be said that they were simply carved from the same mold, apart from being a little older. It gave Shiyu a feeling that if Senior Panda was 30 or 40 years old, she might look like the woman in front of him. Chapter 689, First Kill Totem Kill. Chapter 689, First Kill Totem Kill. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. You? When Shiyu saw this woman, he made a preliminary judgment that she was an ally. The first reason was that she was wearing the standard armor of the Emperor Wu dynasty. The second reason was that it was a mature panda senior. The third reason was that the Dragon God protection didn't react. Fourth, could the turtle the other party mentioned be Zhongxian? Now that he thought about it, perhaps the Dragon God protection wasn't necessarily unintelligent, but too intelligent. Unless it was really a life-and-death crisis, it probably wouldn't trigger the protection. At the same time, Shiyu was a little sad. The next time he went to Dragon Palace City, he had to ask the Dragon God properly. Could it be that after he ate the undying fruit, the Dragon God protection would insist that Shiyu be in his undead form already before protecting him when there was a life-and-death crisis? That would be a scam. What's your relationship with that turtle? A woman who was 90% similar to Senior Panda was still saying the same thing. Shiyu asked, "What's your goal in pulling me here?" Shiyu was silent. Although he knew Zhongxian, he wanted to know how this woman sensed his connection with Zhongxian. It would be fine if Zhongxian was his contracted pet, but he had only chatted with Zhongxian for a while. This person could sense this? Old man, there's no need to be nervous. The woman smiled and said, "I mean no harm. I just wanted to clear my confusion after sensing a special spatial wave on you." Spatial fluctuations? Don't you know? When one ruined space comes into contact with another ruined space for a long time and overlaps, weaker spaces will be affected by stronger spaces and similar spatial fluctuations will appear. You should have carried a certain spatial tool and stayed in a certain ruin for a long time, right? The woman looked at Shiyu and said, "Can you tell me about it?" Shiyu was slightly stunned and immediately understood. He had indeed brought the ruin ring and stayed in Emperor Wu ruins for more than 2 months. "I want to know if you've seen a turtle in that ruin," she said. "The spatial fluctuations of the spatial equipment you carry are very special. You've even come into contact with a deeper layer of spatial fluctuations. I couldn't be wrong. You must have come into contact with that turtle." "How do you know?" Shiyu asked in confusion. Even the gem cat would probably find it difficult to detect the similarity between these subtle spatial fluctuations. This woman could sense it through a layer of space? The mature panda senior said, "Of course I know, because I've also participated in the modification of the ruined space you've been to. Now, you can also tell me, right?" She had participated in the modification of Emperor Wu ruins? Shiyu was immediately silent. He was even more certain of the other party's identity. The other party was most likely a beast tamer of the iron-eating beast tribe under Emperor Wu. Zhongxian had said that the ruin was used to nurture iron-eating beasts. It was watched over by it and the feeders of the iron-eating beast tribe. Since this person had participated in the modification of the ruins, he was definitely a core figure of the Emperor Wu dynasty. He decided to forget it and lay his cards on the table and not waste time. The gem cat and the others should be worried about him. He had to understand the cause and effect as soon as possible and get out. Senior Zhongxian. I've indeed seen it before. Shiyu looked at her. It has nurtured me. The woman revealed a happy expression and said, "In that case, it's still alive." "No, Senior Zhongxian has already reincarnated," Shiyu said. "Reincarnation?" As expected, it still can't find a way to recover. After being stunned, she said with a regretful expression, "Reincarnation is also a method." "So, Senior, who exactly are you?" Shiyu asked. "I'm the legend-level cultivator of the iron-eating beast core under Emperor Wu, Ji Mengzhu." Ji Mengzhu looked at Shiyu. Although she didn't know if what Shiyu said was true, she was still relatively happy to encounter someone who had entered that ruin. "Your surname isn't Lin?" Shiyu felt strange. He was already certain that this person was most likely one of Senior Panda's ancestors. Senior Panda's ancestor was indeed related to the iron-eating beast tribe. "You said that Zhongxian has nurtured you. What's going on?" Ji Mengzhu looked at Shiyu, wanting to confirm further. Shiyu said, "I contracted an iron-eating beast. After entering that ruin, I accidentally refreshed a trial record and woke up Senior Zhongxian. I learned about what happened at the end of the Emperor Wu dynasty from it. Then, Senior Zhongxian told me the evolution method of my iron-eating beast and the cultivation method of my iron-eating beast." "You contracted an iron-eating beast?" Ji Mengzhu's expression was pleasantly surprised. She believed Shiyu's words even more. "Can you summon it for me to take a look?" Shiyu thought for a moment and nodded. He had already confirmed that this Ji Mengzhu was an ancient from 2,000 years ago. He just didn't know what method she had used to survive until now in the form of a spiritual body. From the looks of it, she seemed to be able to control this legendary ruin. Did it become an artifact spirit? After entering the ruins for a moment, Shiyu could already confirm that this ruin was most likely like the Ice Dragon ruins, sealing and suppressing some great danger. From the energy fluctuations and historical direction, it was very likely a totem that suppressed the relevant factions of Yunnan, and this Ji Mengzhu was guarding here. Since it was an ally, there was no problem. Thinking of the prophecy of the country's guardian, there might even be iron-eating beast evolution materials here. In addition, this Ji Mengzhu was the chief feeder of the iron-eating beast army of the Emperor Wu dynasty. She might have mastered many rare metals. Shiyu's heart surged. Chapter 690, First Totem Kill, 2. Chapter 690, First Totem Kill, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. This was a super-rich woman suspected to be able to strengthen 11's legendary level. 11. A purple summoning array condensed in front of Shiyu. Under Ji Mengzhu's gaze, a chubby panda more than a meter tall came out with a pleasantly surprised expression. What strong dark element radiation! 11, who had absorbed the meteorite fragment, instantly sensed that there were definitely other meteorite fragments here. Woo! 11 looked around and saw Ji Mengzhu. It immediately opened its mouth wide in shock. Lin Xiuzhu? No, but it seemed like her. Just like, return to get them, it shouldn't be long. 2 days should be enough, Shiyu said. Ji Mengzhu suddenly felt that 2,000 years in the future was extremely unfamiliar to her. Forbidden weapons that could destroy 3 demigods? How had Dong Huang developed after 2,000 years? Ji Mengzhu was a little tempted by Shi Yu's words. If she could survive, she naturally wanted to see how the current iron-eating beasts were. Wu! Beside him, 11 was extremely regretful. It hated itself for being too weak. Otherwise, how good would it be if it could deal with this Yun race general and even the black goat outside? If it's really as you say, Ji Mengzhu said. Shi Yu smiled and said, there's definitely no problem. At the moment, Dong Huang has even rebuilt the iron-eating beast core. A female feeder is also in charge of nurturing it. She obtained some of the cultivation methods of the iron-eating beast from Senior Chongxian. When the time comes, you will definitely be very surprised to see her. This was a powerful feeder who had nurtured iron-eating beasts for Emperor Wu 2,000 years ago, and it was suspected to be Senior Panda's ancestor. Shi Yu felt that if the two of them met, Senior Panda should be able to take off. It would be best if she became a disciple. He couldn't let her commit suicide. When Ji Mengzhu heard Shi Yu's words, she smiled. However, at this moment, with a boom, a huge dark element energy erupted from afar. The entire sealed space rumbled and trembled. The radiation in the entire ruined space was even stronger. This scene made Ji Mengzhu smile and shake her head with a regretful expression. Thank you, but it might be too late. It's about to break free of the seal. I'm afraid it won't take 2 minutes. This is a ruined stone containing the iron-eating beast's evolution resources. Next, I'll teleport you out of here. Leave it to me to settle. We can't let it have any chance to escape. I don't know if Yunnan was completely killed by Lord Emperor Wu. Yunnan has the ability to revive. The power on these meteorites is very good revival nutrients for Yunnan, so you can understand, right? I have a reason why I can't let it escape from here, no matter what, Ji Mengzhu said. A ruined stone appeared in Shi Yu's hand. At the same time, his expression suddenly changed. Why was it so fast? Not to mention forbidden weapons, even the first batch of reinforcements might not be able to arrive in time. According to Ji Mengzhu, it was unrealistic to rely on the Gem Cat and the Butterfly God because there were still the companions of the Yun General in the outside world. In a battle, the casualties would definitely be incomparably huge. Leave it to me. He looked at Ji Mengzhu's determined attitude, who was determined to sacrifice herself and kill this Yun clan general here. It was impossible for Shi Yu to understand. Because Ji Mengzhu had grown up in the era of Emperor Wu, she knew better than anyone the threat of Yunnan's strength and the Yun clan. Therefore, she was unwilling to let this Yun clan general have any chance to escape. In her opinion, if the Yunnan faction made a comeback because of the breakthrough of this totem, it would be a huge threat to the entire human race and the entire East. She didn't understand the power of forbidden weapons, but she knew the power of the Yun race very well. After all, her home was destroyed by them. Who? 11 also looked at this auntie who was similar to Lin Xiuju. Was she going to sacrifice herself to destroy the sealed monster? It also had an anxious expression. No, when it grew to the totem level, it could defeat it. Senior Ji, where are the artifact of this ruin? Give it to me. I'll take it and bring you away first. Don't care about this guy. Ji Mengzhu smiled and said, it's all right. With that said, she was about to teleport Shi Yu and 11. Shi Yu was really frustrated at such a woman who didn't listen to reason. Seeing that the teleportation wave had already enveloped Shi Yu suddenly shouted, wait. He used the ruins ring to enter an ethereal state to block the teleportation. At the same time, he said, Senior Ji, the inside of this legendary ruin should be able to withstand power enough to destroy totems, right? According to what I know, unless it self-destructs, only demigod-level power can destroy the legendary ruin space. You just said that the Yun race general can't destroy the ruins. He can only break free and leave after dealing with you. Chapter 693, First Totem Kill, 5. Chapter 693, First Totem Kill, 5. Translator, Atlas Studios editor, Atlas Studios. Then as long as I kill this fallen race general inside the ruins, there won't be a problem, right? Shiyu's baffling words stunned Ji Mengzhu. Yi! Leave it to me. Baby Ginseng's voice echoed in Shiyu and 11's minds. Yi! It's just a totem. Yi! With the power of the Sun Flame Flower, I can self-destruct and display power comparable to a forbidden weapon. The power of the Sun Flame can instantly cleanse these radiation curses. At the same time, I can also use this opportunity to try to evolve. Even if I fail, it's not useless. At least I can trade my life for a Yun race totem. After that, I can also revive in the beast taming space. According to its calculations and Ling's calculations, there was no problem. Baby Ginseng's voice sounded, first stunning Shiyu and 11. Then, they were pleasantly surprised. Baby Ginseng. He had almost forgotten that there was still Baby Ginseng. After using the time fruit, the self-destruction of the Overlord-level Ginseng Baby could instantly exceed 100 million energy points. If the power of the Sun Flame Flower was added, it would counter the power of the curse radiation. Perhaps he could try to deal with a weak totem. As expected, in such a desperate situation, he still had to rely on Baby Ginseng. At this moment, Shiyu was very helpless. Senior Ji, can you believe me this time? Leave this totem to me to kill. What nonsense are you talking about? Ji Mengzhu looked at the level 6 beast tamer in confusion. A level 6 beast tamer threatened to deal with a meteorite totem? She no longer had time to deal with Shiyu, but at this moment, Shiyu summoned another pet. A ginseng baby less than half a meter tall. Seeing this ginseng baby, Ji Mengzhu was completely stunned. She didn't understand what Shiyu was doing. At the same time, this ginseng baby was holding a resource that Ji Mengzhu completely didn't understand. That was something that contained solar energy. It was at least a legendary resource. Believe me, Shiyu said. Believe in Baby Ginseng. Yi! After thinking for a long time, Baby Ginseng decided to give it a try. At the moment, 11, Buggy, and Kai Tong were already stronger than it. If Susu and Ling caught up later, after everyone reached the Overlord level, Baby Ginseng could already predict that it would definitely be at the bottom of the team. This wouldn't do. Evolve as soon as possible. If it failed now, it could still have more time to condense the time mark. But if it killed this totem, its battle results would increase. If it dawdled for a long time before trying and failing again, it would drag on even longer. Moreover, failure had no value. It made a prompt decision. Moreover, it might not necessarily fail. Baby Ginseng held the Sun Flame Flower and looked at 11. Its gaze was firm. It meant that it would deal with the great enemy of the iron-eating beast race. Don't underestimate the third place in the team. The mutation this time was different from the last time. It should be very painful. Whether it could withstand the mutation power of the Sun Flame Flower was the key to whether Baby Ginseng could succeed. It had already endured the impact of adding points to super skills, so it definitely could this time. Moreover, because there was a reason why it had to succeed this time, Baby Ginseng felt that there was no problem. It was the first pet in the team to kill an Overlord, and it would also be the first pet in the team to kill a totem. It was the number 1 in the team. Woo woo woo. 11 was stunned. Yi! Baby Ginseng turned around. It took a deep breath. Under Ji Mengzhu's shocked expression, it stuffed the Sun Flame Flower into his mouth. A ginseng baby ate the resource that contained the legendary power of the sun. Buzz! At this moment, the legendary resource in Baby Ginseng's body, the Sun Flame Flower, directly emitted a hot light. Then, Baby Ginseng began to absorb the power of the Sun Flame Flower through the mutation. Flames suddenly appeared on Baby Ginseng's body. Its fair and tender skin immediately looked like it had been roasted red. A tempting hot fragrance spread. This time, Baby Ginseng directly absorbed the power of the Sun Flame Flower to the greatest extent. With the mentality that it would die if it didn't succeed, it wasn't as timid as before. At the same time, it activated the power of the time fruit and entered its peak state. The form it displayed was a body becoming redder and redder, and its expression became more and more frozen. Then, with a boom, baby ginseng's entire body was wrapped in sun flame flames. The flames that shot into the sky swallowed baby ginseng's entire body, making Ji Mengzhu open her mouth wide. Baby ginseng was ignited. But the key was that baby ginseng was a wood element pet. It wasn't a mainstream strategy. Moreover, as she sensed the rising aura of this ginseng baby, Ji Mengzhu was even more shocked. Overlord level. No, its aura even exceeded a top-notch overlord. It's all right, Shi Yu said solemnly. Although baby ginseng was ignited, the mutation was still holding on. The flames didn't cause fatal damage to baby ginseng. In the flames, baby ginseng forced its eyes closed with a painful expression. 11 was already in a lot of pain when it used the tempered steel skill and the sun flame to train its physique. And now, baby ginseng, who had modified its body through the mutation and the legendary sun flame power, was in more pain than 11. However, this was only the initial stage. At this rate, even if it succeeded, it would be equivalent to a gamble. No one knew the direction of the mutation. Therefore, baby ginseng had to consciously control the mutation direction next. Of course, the price of doing this was that the risk of failure would be higher. Now that the mutation had failed, perhaps there was no need to die, but if it made that attempt and the mutation failed, there was only death. Chapter 694, First Totem Kill, 6. Chapter 694, First Totem Kill, 6. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. However, it didn't want to survive this time. Yi! As baby ginseng shouted, the flames on its body became stronger and stronger. At this moment, baby ginseng's body began to emit red and green energy. A large amount of juice came out of its body. Then, the flames on its body seemed to have undergone a qualitative change, instantly evaporating the sweat flowing down baby ginseng. It had already begun to control the power of the sun through the mutation to burn its life force during the mutation. It hoped to use this to erupt with greater evolution potential. Boom! In just an instant, although it had yet to mutate successfully, baby ginseng could already feel the huge potential exchanged for burning its life force. At the same time, the intense pain also made baby ginseng faint. The sun flames that spread more than 10 meters tall outside its body erupted with power under the enhancement of the light and heat that dispersed during the burning process, shocking 11 beside it. The one with the most direct view was Shi Yu. At this moment, although baby ginseng had yet to successfully mutate, its energy level had already begun to increase drastically because it was burning its life force. 99,990,000. It doubled. It's about to exceed 100 million. This wasn't the energy value after baby ginseng evolved and used the explosive skill, but the energy that erupted from its burning life force. Although it wasn't as high as the increase in the time fruit, this was a completely different increase. After baby ginseng reached the overlord level, eating the time fruit wouldn't increase its strength much. However, through the sun flame burning its life force, even if it reached the overlord level, the totem level, and the mythical level, it was still effective. Moreover, as it grew, advanced, and evolved, the increase would be higher and higher. The duration would also increase. It was not something that could be compared to a one-time eruption. Moreover, it could also multiply the increase of the moon explosion. At the moment, it could also multiply the power of time. Shi Yu thought for a moment. If baby ginseng had 50 million normal energy points after advancing to an overlord, then after burning its life force and erupting, its energy level could instantly exceed 100 million. Then, it could detonate through the expert level moon explosion. That would be 300 million units of self-destruction. It was not inferior to ordinary forbidden weapons at all. Entry-level moon explosion could double the energy when baby ginseng self-destructed. Expert level, 3 times. A 300 million level energy eruption was comparable to a forbidden weapon. It heavily injured totems and even killed weaker totems. If Moon Explosion reached Transcendent, it could strengthen its energy more than 10 times like the Seven Islands Giant Ape Totem. That would be more than 1 billion levels of self-destruction. Of course, whether this kind of battle strategy could succeed depended on the subsequent mutation of Baby Ginseng. This time, it only relied on the power of legendary resources to forcefully burn its life. Shiyu and the others looked at Baby Ginseng and became nervous. Especially Shiyu, who had a contract connection with Baby Ginseng. At this moment, he also felt the heat all over his body, the heat in his brain, and the heat in his soul. This burden was even stronger than when Kai Tong possessed him. Ning, Susu's water couldn't help Baby Ginseng. It could only appear beside Shiyu and help him cool down. At this moment, Baby Ginseng had also reached the most critical moment. It was like a plant that had been thrown into the sun. Its life had almost turned into ashes. It has to succeed. At this moment, as long as Shiyu communicated telepathically with Baby Ginseng, his soul and spirit would be extremely hot and incomparably painful. However, during Baby Ginseng's mutation, Shiyu was still talking to Baby Ginseng at all times because he could sense that if Baby Ginseng couldn't sense the situation outside, its consciousness would probably have already disappeared. Yi? At this moment, Baby Ginseng's consciousness was scattered. It was only relying on its instincts to let its body modify and fuse with the power of the sun that was burning its life. Success? Failure? Baby Ginseng no longer sensed anything, because under the burning of the sun flame's power, its life seemed to have reached the end. Baby Ginseng was very familiar with this feeling. It was the feeling of death. It had already experienced it the first time it self-destructed. It also knew very well what would happen next. As it died, his consciousness would be reborn on the time mark and revive, but at this moment, Baby Ginseng thought a lot. If it failed, it was nothing. It could still be revived. However, it would have completely missed the opportunity to become stronger and even wasted a legendary resource. At the same time, no one knew how long it would take for the next mutation evolution. But if it succeeded, it could destroy the totem and become Eleven's idol, the strongest battle power in the team. It was definitely going to get this honor. Boom! Baby Ginseng, whose entire body was flickering with flames, erupted with a terrifying speed, turning into a fiery red flash. It relied on its instincts to rush towards the sealed location of the Yun race general. At this moment, it was like 11, who had opened its lightning armor. Its speed was incomparably fast, and it was wearing the sun armor. In a flash, the surrounding radiation power was almost instantly burned clean by the sun flame and purified. Seeing this scene, Ji Mengzhu was completely stunned. She couldn't think straight now. She didn't understand why a level 6 beast tamer's contracted ginseng baby would erupt to the overlord level. After erupting to the overlord level, it could also erupt with power comparable to totems. Chapter 695, First Totem Kill, 7. Chapter 695, First Totem Kill, 7. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. And now, what was this Sun Baby Ginseng going to do? Senior G, now's not the time to be in a daze. Next, listen to my instructions. Take me to the edge of the ruins. Ji Mengzhu looked at a grey-robed old man in a daze. The other party's series of actions made her, a legend-level beast tamer, a little confused. Were all future beast tamers like this? In the outside world. It had been a while since the mutation of the ruins. The fox god, the black goat, and the others looked at the ruins with shock. At this moment, a crack appeared in the door of the ruins. The dark element radiation power spreading from it became stronger and stronger, making the fox god's expression extremely serious. Perhaps the sealed creature inside was really going to break through. At this moment, the fox god's expression was unfriendly, while the black goat's expression was ecstatic. Senior, break the seal. At that time, we'll revive the king together. Listen to my command, everyone retreat. At this moment, as the ruins changed, the radiation power became stronger and stronger. The Fox God immediately instructed all his subordinates to retreat. Otherwise, this radiation power would cause indelible damage to those weak heavenly fox beast tamers. Wu tilde tilde tilde? Wu tilde 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 tilde? Under the Fox God's command, the Overlord Foxes swept up the heavenly fox army below and quickly retreated. Even the Fox God left with the heavenly fox Saintus. Now, it had already expected the situation to be bad. If the monsters inside broke through the seal, the heavenly fox nation would probably be in danger. Not to mention obtaining legendary resources, it would be good enough if they didn't lose resources. It had to call its bootlickers over to help as soon as possible. Only Black Goat and Baichuan stayed. Will there be meteorite fragments inside? Ku Yuan's Baichuan legend's gaze was burning with anticipation. However, at this moment, the most painful thing was still the gem cat in the alternate space. It didn't leave. Instead, it returned and searched for Shiyu's traces, but no matter how hard it searched, it couldn't find him. The only possibility was that Shiyu, this unlucky thing, had fallen into the ruins. Now, as the ruins mutated, the gem cat was even more certain. You unlucky thing. However, you have 2 pieces of protection, so you should be fine. Inside the sealed ruins. In a huge sealing crystal that connected to the ground of the ruins, a huge black yak kept emitting a dark aura. This huge crystal that sealed it for more than 100 meters was surrounded by dark traces. Countless dark power spread from it. The originally transparent crystal had already been dyed black 99%. Crack! Countless cracks cracked from the seal crystal. Inside, a huge black yak more than 100 meters tall opened its eyes with difficulty. So tired, so sleepy, so hungry, so fragrant. What exactly was with this fragrance? Its body rejected it, but it was also extremely tempting. Finally, it's finally broken. Human, I won't let you off. Roar! Accompanied by a terrifying vibration, the entire sealed crystal completely cracked. At the same time, the huge black yak directly opened its eyes. In an instant, it recalled the cause and effect. During the process of chasing after the iron-eating beast race, it was sealed by a human with a legendary sealing space. However, compared to its huge anger, what made the black meteorite yak suffer even more was that it was so hungry, so hungry. Although time had almost stopped flowing, the power it consumed to break free from the seal was also incomparably huge. At this moment, it was even hungrier and crazier than the vortex demon beast that had broken through the seal of the chaotic sea. At this moment, an energy wave that made it extremely disgusted and excited arrived beside it. What he hated was the power of the sun flame, and what he was excited about was baby Ginseng's pure life force. At this moment, the crazy black meteorite yak no longer cared about anything, but under extreme hunger, it could only accept it. Eat it and it could immediately recover some strength. Yi? You are already dead. At this moment, baby Ginseng, who was close to the black meteorite yak, had an indifferent gaze towards life and death. The next was Yunnan. If 11 couldn't solve it, it could only let the towering emperor do it. Baby Ginseng's original idea was to absorb the power of the sun flame. If the evolution failed and it couldn't withstand it, it would directly self-destruct and detonate its power and the power of the sun flame flower to kill the black meteorite yak and revive. And if the evolution was successful, it would also directly self-destruct, kill the black meteorite yak, and then revive. Regardless of whether the evolution mutation was successful or not, it had to self-destruct beside the black meteorite yak and revive. Originally, when baby Ginseng arrived, it had already realized that the mutation evolution might have failed. However, at the most critical moment, under the burning of the sun flame, its will level advanced to the Overlord will. Under the stimulation of the Overlord will potential, it successfully controlled the power of mutation. Evolution, success! The time mark automatically updated its current state. Of course, what awaited the black meteorite yak was still the same outcome. With a boom, baby Ginseng fell like the sun. The sky seemed to have changed drastically, and the entire sky first darkened. With a loud bang, it created a world that belonged to the night. The dark sky and bright night moon made everything silent. Then, a dazzling sun slowly rose and lingered with the moon. Chapter 696, First Totem Kill, 8. Chapter 696, First Totem Kill, 8. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Under the alternation of the sun and moon. Boom! Endless strong light spread in the surroundings. At this moment, the black meteorite yak was instantly awakened from its madness, its eyes filled with indescribable shock. In the next moment, its entire body was directly swallowed by strong light and flames. A terrifying energy wave shook the sky and earth, forming a spreading explosion. Everything in the range of the explosion would directly sublimate. What exactly is this? The black meteorite yak had just woken up and broken through the seal. At this moment, it didn't know what was going on at all. Its gaze was filled with fear, and it felt that a power that threatened its origin was corroding its weak body. Bit by bit, its body slowly turned into dust and floated away under the flames. The explosion spread very quickly. It directly caused a strong vibration in space. If it weren't for the fact that the legendary ruins could withstand demigod-level attacks. At this moment, the entire ruined space would have probably collapsed. But even so, the terrifying power of the self-destruction was extremely terrifying. For example, the current spirit of the ruins, Ji Mengzhu, was quite terrified. The strong wind of the explosion spread crazily. At a speed of hundreds of meters per second, it quickly spread for more than 10 kilometers before gradually slowing down. Although the destructive power continued to weaken, it instantly made the entire legendary ruin into a mess. Of course, during this process, the power of the sun surprisingly burned and cleansed most of the dark radiation inside the ruin. At this moment, under Shi Yu's suggestion, Ji Mengzhu, who had run to the edge of the ruins with Shi Yu, was still filled with incomparable shock. She looked at the grey-robed old man as if he was looking at a monster. TCH, it's not easy to absorb moonlight here. Seems like this is the biggest explosion it can get? Beside Ji Mengzhu, Shi Yu curled his lips and chuckled, making this woman from 2,000 years ago's worldview collapse a little. What happened just now? At this moment, as the spirit of the ruins, she could clearly sense that be it that ginseng baby or the sealed black meteorite yak, their life auras had already disappeared. Self-destruct? However, although the self-destruction didn't reach the maximum power, because the power of the sun countered the dark power, in addition to the fact that the black meteorite yak was extremely weak, baby ginseng still seemed to have succeeded. However, although the black meteorite yak's life aura had disappeared, it wasn't that miserable. It wasn't absolutely incinerated. Of course, only a small portion of its body was left, but it was inevitable. At the same time, a mini ginseng baby was gathering in Shi Yu's beast-taming space. After the time mark reached the expert level, it was much more convenient than before. It could directly gather its body in the contractor's beast-taming space, and the contract didn't have to be broken. At this moment, the new ginseng baby was still not much different from before, but to be honest, its ginseng flower emitted a light like the sun and was extremely hot. It was as if a sunflower had bloomed on the ginseng. Name: Undying Sun Ginseng. Race level: High-level Overlord, Quasi-Mythical. Level of growth: Monarch level. Super skill: Source of Life, Expert plus 11, Time mark, Expert, Moon Explosion, Expert, Plant Control, Expert plus 2, Life Fire Seed, Initiate. Life Fire Seed, a super wood and fire dual element skill. Burn life force and stimulate potential. Energy points, 14,880,000. In the outside world. The huge door of the ruins was still completely cracked. The Black Goat Totem and Legend by Chuan looked here in anticipation. As the crack grew larger and larger, a huge body fell from the ruins. It was a roasted cow that looked like it had been roasted by flames. Its body had already turned into charcoal, and there were no longer any signs of life. Even the radiation on its body was burned clean by an unknown power. From the energy fluctuations, it looked like it had just been burned to death. The terrifying fluctuations spreading in the crack could be clearly sensed even in the outside world. With a boom, it fell from the ruins. The pupils of the Black Goat totem and legend by Tron constricted in confusion. Their expressions were full of shock. What happened? In the distance, the fox god, the gem cat, and the butterfly god looked at the totem body that fell from the legendary ruins as if it had been roasted. Their gazes were shocked, not understanding what had happened. At this moment, two undead suddenly appeared in the crack of the ruins. It was a tiger spirit and a dragon spirit. They roared and rushed out. Under everyone's shocked gazes, they quickly dragged the huge totem corpse back into the ruins. Then, the crack of the ruins quickly repaired, making everyone even more stunned. Chapter 697, Evolution of the Undying Sun Ginseng. Chapter 697, Evolution of the Undying Sun Ginseng. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. The ruins were extremely hot. Baby Ginseng's self-destruction of the Snake Lord and the Earth Demon Ape was purely wood element and light element damage. And this time, apart from wood element and light element damage, there was also some fire element damage because it burned its life force after eating the Sun Flame Flower. Because it had yet to completely digest the power of the Sun Flame Flower at that time, it was not purely fire element damage, but fire element damage similar to Kai Tong's Sun Flame. Sun Fire had a fatal restraining effect on curses, plagues, darkness, and poison. In addition, when the black meteorite yak broke through the seal, its state was extremely poor and it was unable to resist at all. It was instantly destroyed by Baby Ginseng's unprecedented explosion. Life Fire plus Moon Explosion plus Sun Flame Flower plus Time Fruit plus weakened opponent. It wouldn't work if one of them was lacking. First totem kill. The legendary feeder of the Emperor Wu era, Ji Mengzhu, looked at the scene in the ruins in shock. As the spirit of the ruins, she was very clear about the power of that attack just now. That was what a level 6 beast tamer's pet could do. What a joke! A totem attack was only SOSO. Although the black meteorite yak's strength had fallen to an extremely low level because it had been sealed for 2,000 years, the black meteorite yak was still one of the 12 totem war generals under Yunnan top-notch strength. A starving camel was still bigger than a horse. No matter how poor its condition was, it was still a totem-level life form. There was a difference in the level of life. How could it be instantly killed by a monarch-level pet summoned by a level 6 beast tamer? Moreover, that pet was an extremely ridiculous ginseng baby. The race of ginseng babies was also very common in ancient times. During the era of Emperor Wu dynasty, beast tamers valued martial arts, so supplements and recovery-type pets were also mainstream. Ji Mengzhu was naturally extremely familiar with ginseng babies. But now, after 2000, she wasn't familiar with baby ginseng anymore. What mutated species was it? After the shock, Ji Mengzhu reacted. The life aura of the ginseng baby had also completely disappeared. She carefully recalled the scene just now. Baby ginseng ate the legendary resource and then emitted a huge power, creating a huge explosion. Then, the enemy and its life aura completely disappeared. No matter how Ji Mengzhu thought about it, this situation looked very much like self-destruction. If it was self-destruction. Although it was still very difficult to understand how a level 6 beast tamer's pet used self-destruction to kill a totem, if a legendary resource was added, it might be possible. But she looked at Shiyu beside her and said, "Where's that ginseng baby? In that case, you might as well let me detonate the ruins." That's your pet. His contracted pet should be more important than her. Was this old man in front of her crazy? He could have left directly. Wait. She looked at Shiyu in silence. She didn't care much previously, but from the looks of it, this old man's aura and style, he didn't look like a good person. Senior Ji, don't think too much. I only do things within my ability. Shiyu chuckled. In front of him, the purple summoning array appeared again. As the light outlined, Ji Mengzhu's eyes widened. This was because the figure that appeared on the summoning array was Baby Ginseng, who had just eaten the Sun Flame fruit and ran to the black meteorite yak to self-destruct. At this moment, the ginseng baby had its lonely at the top expression. there was still a weak fire burning on the ginseng flower. It raised its hand and wanted to give Shiyu a thumbs up, meaning that it didn't disappoint, but unfortunately, it didn't have a finger. How is this possible? At that moment, baby ginseng's appearance once again pierced through the values of this old woman from 2,000 years ago. She was stunned and couldn't understand why baby ginseng, who seemed to have made an incomparably huge sacrifice just now and was suspected to have killed a totem 2 levels higher, was still so lively now, as if it didn't have any injuries. No, it even looked stronger than the first time it appeared. Was this really reasonable? Why did she feel that the thing in front of her was even more ridiculous than the incurable injury brought by Yunan's prototype divine skill? Senior Ji, times have changed, Shiyu said with a faint smile. Ji Mingzhu's expression was messy. Have the times really changed? Beast tamers after 2,000 years could actually kill totems at level 6? Although she didn't know what was going on. It looked like she didn't have to die. Ji Mingzhu was silent. This way, wouldn't she be able to take a look at Dong Huang 2,000 years later? However, at that time, she definitely couldn't show her fear. She definitely couldn't be like this, like someone who had never seen the world. Even a level 6 beast tamer in 2,000 years in the future might be able to kill totems. Remember! At the same time, Shiyu looked at baby ginseng. Name: Ginseng Baby. Race: Undying Sun Ginseng. Attributes: Wood, Time, Light, Fire. Race level: High Level Overlord, Quasi-Mythical. Level of growth: Monarch level. In this mutation evolution, the ginseng baby's race was undoubtedly stronger. Fortunately, the Sun Flame flower was a mutated evolution resource this time and not a strengthening resource. Otherwise, baby ginseng might have directly broken through to the overlord level during the evolution process. Shiyu was completely unprepared for that. According to the changes in its body, the current ginseng baby's body contained 4 attributes at the same time. This situation was very rare. Of course, in nature, it wasn't as if the more attributes transcendent creatures had, the better. The more attributes they had, the easier it was for their bodies to have problems. At the same time, the term miscellaneous was more suitable for them. Chapter 698, Evolution of the Undying Sun Ginseng, 2. Chapter 698, Evolution of the Undying Sun Ginseng, 2. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Why was the dragon family so powerful, and could even be singled out as a department? Because dragon attributes were very special. One attribute contained 2 or more attributes. For example, in the dragon element of the Eastern Divine Dragon, it basically contained the nature of wind and water elements. Some of them also had the nature of lightning. As for the dragon element of the Western Dragon, it basically contained the nature of lightning and fire elements. At the same time, there was a chance that it had the nature of wind. This was also one of the reasons why the dragons were powerful. A dragon type could be used as a multi-element. Moreover, due to their racial talent, they could perfectly control this type. Therefore, if it had the ability to completely control these powers, it would definitely be able to play more tricks than with just a single attribute. Shiyu could add points, so he didn't have to worry about baby ginseng's skills being too complicated, or if he might be causing the effect of the supplemental skills to worsen. He just had to add points to the source of life. At the moment, baby ginseng's attributes were mainly wood and time, while light and fire attributes were the 3rd and 4th attributes. They were actually negligible. The reason why the attribute changes in baby ginseng's body were a little complicated was not only because the power of the Sun Flame flower's effect on the monarch level ginseng baby was too domineering, but also because of the 3 newly awakened racial skills. During this mutation evolution, baby ginseng awakened 3 racial skills again. Life Fire Seed, a super life-burning explosive skill of wood and fire elements, was one of them. This was also the most important ability obtained by baby ginseng during its mutation evolution. It was a skill that baby ginseng took the initiative to fight for through the mutation process. It was only at the monarch level, but like the totem level, it tried to take the initiative to develop skills, and it was a huge success. However, the other two skills were very ordinary. The second was the energy storage beam. Baby Ginseng originally knew this mid-level light element skill, but it had taught it previously, but after this mutation, the restriction bottleneck of this skill naturally broke on Baby Ginseng and became a racial skill. The third was a high-level light and fire dual-element skill, Clear Sky. This was a type of weather skill. Similar to weather skills like Rain Prayer, it could increase the strength of the sun's power, thereby increasing the power of the corresponding attribute moves of all fire and light pets. Kai Tong, the reincarnation of the sun god Phoenix bloodline, didn't even learn Clear Sky, but Baby Ginseng did. These two skills were the icing on the cake for Shiyu and the others. It was less important than Fire of Life. After the totem level, it was all about super skills. Apart from that, it was not strange for Baby Ginseng's normal energy level to reach 14.88 million. Although the Sun Flame Flower did not give Baby Ginseng the power of a strengthening resource, it was still a legendary resource. After maximizing Clear Sky and Storage Beam, Baby Ginseng's normal energy level could reach more than 15 million if nothing went wrong. This was definitely extremely rare among monarchs. It also had an overwhelming energy advantage in the team. And there was something else that excited Shiyu this time, which was that Baby Ginseng's will level had reached high level. This way, there were only 3 Overlord wills in the team. It was even easier to add points. Baby Ginseng used Shiyu's telepathy to pull up the team voice chat to indicate when the new team meeting was. The Time Fruit plus Fire of Life, a double dazzling eruption. Even if it didn't self-destruct. Legendary equipment? Overlord puppet? It would break it with a punch. 11. Buggy, Kai Tong, Susu, Beast Tamer, look at it, look at it. Shiyu chuckled. However, 11, Buggy, and the others weren't in a hurry. Damn it, let Baby Ginseng be arrogant for 2 days first. After everyone reached the Overlord level, Baby Ginseng's advantage would be gone. 11 had already calculated it. At that time, it would let Shiyu add some more points to Bin Bears and the Undying Golden Body to himself first. At that time, the 10,000 Bears Army skill would cooperate with the Transcendent Undying Golden Body to tank the Forbidden Weapon. At that time, it would let Baby Ginseng self-destruct as it pleased. Buggy had also calculated it. It would let Shiyu add some anti-magic domain to itself first. At that time, even if the rules couldn't stop Baby Ginseng's self-destruction, it could still use the anti-magic domain to anti-moon explosion for Baby Ginseng. In the anti-magic domain, without the enhancement of the moonlight radiation, Buggy felt that it could resist Baby Ginseng's self-destruction with the Dragon of Imagination. Everyone, wait and see. Kai Tong and Susu also began to study the self-destruction technique of the art of anti-Baby Ginseng. Otherwise, with the self-destruction prohibited, even if they defeated the Ginseng baby in the future, they would feel that it was an unfair victory. The entire team directly used Baby Ginseng's self-destruction as an imaginary enemy. A new round of crazy rolling began. Boom! While Baby Ginseng was immersed in joy, the sealed place was also the center of the explosion. Because of the strong energy wave, the ruined space was directly torn apart. At this moment, it was already not bad if half of the 100-meter-long yak's body was left. Its entire body was charred as it was sucked away by the spatial crack. This time, Baby Ginseng's self-destruction was undoubtedly more powerful than the last time. Unfortunately, because the physique of the black meteorite yak was too strong, as well as the spatial and venue strength of the legendary ruins being too high. From the looks of the damage caused, it wasn't as strong as the first self-destruction. This was the only thing that Baby Ginseng felt uncomfortable about. Otherwise, it felt that it shouldn't be a problem for it to instantly blow up that moon city or whatever. However, there were also benefits, which was that the black meteorite yak still had more than half its body. Whether it was letting Buggy repair it and make it into a half puppet or letting Susu cleanse it into a roasted steak, they were both good choices. Chapter 699, Evolution of the Undying Sun Ginseng, 3. Chapter 699, Evolution of the Undying Sun Ginseng, 3. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Although these Yun creatures also had the power of dark radiation, they were after all bestowed by Yunnan. They weren't as domineering as Yunnan's main body, so it wasn't impossible to cleanse them. Their life essence was also different from meteorite life forms like Yunnan. They were still animals. Therefore, Shiyu felt that they should be edible after purification, right? Compared to roasted octopuses, he honestly liked to eat cows more. It can't fall out. There are still enemies outside. At this moment, seeing that the black meteorite yak was about to fall out of the ruins, Shiyu was directly anxious. He immediately waved his walking stick, and under Ji Mengzu's shocked expression, 3 Overlord-level undead flew out. The movements of the dragon spirit and tiger spirit were very fast. However, the mountain tortoise spirit had been summoned for nothing. The huge totem corpse had already fallen out of the crack. Before it could catch up to the dragon spirit and the tiger spirit, it was directly left behind. Even if it used Earth Escape, it couldn't catch up to the other two's speed. Fortunately, the mountain tortoise spirit didn't have consciousness. Otherwise, Kai Tong could understand its feelings. It cursed. Why was this ground so hot and hard? The black meteorite yak's corpse fell out of the ruins and came out of the crack. But the dragon spirit and tiger spirit followed closely behind. Soon, with a boom, the huge totem corpse that fell out was brought back by the dragon and tiger spirits again. At this moment, Shiyu said to Senior Ji Mengzu, who was still stunned beside him and couldn't understand why there were still 3 Overlord undead following this level 6 beast tamer, Senior, quickly repair the ruins. Don't let the guys from the outside world in. Otherwise, it'll be a little troublesome to deal with totems in perfect condition. Ji Mengzu, a little troublesome? In the outside world. The various factions were very stunned when they saw the half-crippled roasted yak fall. Black Goat and Legend Baichuan couldn't react for a moment. According to what the Yun race had left behind, Senior Black Meteorite Yak was sealed by a legendary ruin with weak lethality. If the lethality of a seal-type ruin was strong, the seal effect would definitely be poor. If the seal effect was strong, the lethality would definitely be poor. It was very difficult to be perfect. At that time, the Yun race couldn't break through this ruin, and there was the totem war, so they simply gave up on the black meteorite yak. Because Yunnan died, everyone pressed onward against them. The Yun clan was almost exterminated by other totems. No one liked these Yun clans that had been given power by Yunnan. The Yun clan also disappeared like the iron-eating beast race. Only when 2,000 years passed and Yunnan was about to revive did the Yun clan reappear. In order to accelerate the revival of the king, they thought of various ways. Just as Ji Mengzu had said, the dark power of the creatures that had been given power by Yunnan could accelerate Yunnan's revival. Therefore, this was also why Ji Mengzu was unwilling to let the black meteorite yak go. At the same time, it was also the reason why the sealed ruins were on the verge of losing its effectiveness. The Yun race immediately locked onto it. It was to find the black meteorite yak and revive Yunnan together. But now, looking at the black meteorite yak that had lost all its dark aura from the explosion, the black goat was stunned. This didn't make sense. At the start, the ruins clearly emitted a strong Yun race aura. Lord, what should we do next? Baichuan was also very confused. What happened in front of him was really a little unexpected. He asked Black Goat and the others if they wanted to follow and take a look. From the repair speed of the crack in the ruins, it should take a while for them to enter. All right. Send a pet to take a look first. When the Black Goat saw the miserable state of the black meteorite yak, it felt a little afraid. It was a little afraid of this legendary sealed ruin. Even if a crack passage appeared, it didn't dare to act rashly at this moment. I knew it. Baichuan's expression darkened. He knew that they would send him. He had also seen the 3 Overlord undead just now. He knew very well how dangerous this investigation was. However, he was also sufficiently curious about this ruin. In that case, he would send a pet to take a look. This is the Yun race general that goat mentioned? The fox god, who originally thought that the black goat was coming to help, had a subtle expression and immediately felt relieved. Otherwise, it would really despise having to face two dirty things. However, the fox god's expression froze. Did it see the dragon spirit and tiger spirit somewhere before? A wave of anger rose from the fox god. Old thing, you want to invade the city-state of the heavenly fox nation and the ruins mystic realm, right? Now, the fox god was completely confused. The incident in Moon City had clearly not happened for long. How could the traces of that grey-robed old man appear in the ruins? They had clearly been guarding the ruins. How did he enter? Little girl, can you tell me what's going on? In another alternate space, the Gem Cat gave Chu Ling, the undercover agent of the 10th Bureau, video access. Through the alternate space, Chu Ling looked at the scene that had just happened in a daze and was a little confused. At that moment, the Gem Cat was relieved because it had just seen the dragon spirit and the tiger spirit. He realized that Xiyu had indeed fallen into the ruins. Sending out the dragon spirit and the tiger spirit was to tell him that he was safe. However, it didn't understand what happened after that. What was with that half-crippled and seemingly roasted well-done black yak? Now, the only one who might know was Chu Ling, who was a spy here. The Gem Cat looked at Chu Ling with big and puzzled eyes. Chapter 700 Evolution of the Undying Sun Ginseng 4 Chapter 700 Evolution of the Undying Sun Ginseng 4 Translator, Atlas Studios Editor, Atlas Studios. Chu Ling didn't know where to start. According to what I know, that should be an ancient totem sealed in this ruin. However, is it a dead totem that was sealed? The Gem Cat turned around in silence and looked at the scene in front of it. It understood. Was it a dead totem sealed? Perhaps not, but it should be dead now. As for what happened in the ruins, it didn't dare to guess or think. This kid. In short, I'm not worried about him anymore. He should have fallen into the ruins, the Gem Cat muttered. Ah. If Xiyu had the ability to destroy totems, wouldn't its status plummet? At this moment, Chu Ling finally recovered from the life-and-death crisis. She said, "Senior, thank you for saving me." That senior just now, is he really all right? Dong Huang had come. Chu Ling knew this. However, Chu Ling was still very shocked that the other party could save her from the fox god. She felt like she had survived a disaster and was very grateful to these seniors. Moreover, that old man actually successfully entered a ruin that even the fox god couldn't enter? She didn't know this senior cat and that old man before she came to the heavenly fox nation to become a spy. Now, Chu Ling only wanted to know their identities. If she could go back, she would definitely thank them well when she returned and bring her entire family to thank them for saving her life. Inside the ruins, Xiyu also realized that the repair speed of the crack was a little slow. Forget it, so be it. The Gem Cat should be able to determine that he was inside the ruins from the dragon and tiger spirits. If there was danger entering, then the Gem Cat had to save him. Xiyu acknowledged the Gem Cat's spatial attainments. Although it didn't have a transcendent skill yet, the proficiency of spatial super moves was definitely close to transcendent. Otherwise, it was impossible for that fox to not be able to do anything to it. Perhaps only totem creatures who really relied on spatial skills to cultivate could deal with this cat. This was very safe. Ji Mengzhu nervously repaired the crack in the ruins, while Xiyu looked at the half of the cow body protected by the 3 Overlord Undead with a burning gaze. Good stuff. Baby Ginseng was silent for a moment before suddenly realizing a problem. This corpse was already in such a state. Could it be that Buggy could also create a puppet? Even if it was only half a totem-level physical puppet, it was still several stories tall. It had to be better than the 3 Overlord corpses from before. Moreover, Baby Ginseng also looked at the ruined stone Xiyu was holding. Why did it feel that 11 and Buggy, who had just evolved, were also going to be strengthened at the epic level? I'm here to see what's here. At that moment, Xiyu no longer cared about the yak because there was something more attractive to him, the ruined stone Ji Mengzhu had given him. Obviously, this was also a spatial tool. Inside was the iron-eating beast evolution resource the other party mentioned. This ruin stone was not the controller of this legendary sealed ruin. It was an independent new ruin. From this point of view, Shiyu should have finally obtained a complete ruin space. At that moment, with the help of the ruin stone, Shiyu checked the evolution resources inside the ruins with ease. With a look, Shiyu was overjoyed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A total of 10 meteorite fragments. Although in terms of quality, it was a little inferior to the one that Quan Shen had given them. But there were 10 meteorite fragments. They were all taken from the demigod-level Yunnan. At this moment, if it could eat all of them, 11 would definitely evolve into a demon god panda. Even if its foundation was very strong now, 10 meteorite fragments would definitely be enough. Of course, he had already studied the superalloy research. Shiyu also had new ambitions now. He felt that it was lacking to only evolve into a demon god panda. It was meaningless to imitate the path of Emperor Wu and even his predecessors. It wanted to wait and see Ling's research results. If it succeeded, it would combine the Dark Thunder and the Light Thunder and take a new evolution path. If the research didn't succeed, it would use a backup, the pure Dark element. These are. Apart from that, Shiyu also discovered a large number of low-level metals. Level 5 metal, golden jade, green heart sand. Level 6 metal mineral resources, black purple copper essence mineral, heavenly silver iron, blue-gray pure gold. Even level 7 metal mineral resources, meteor iron. They were all materials for the iron-eating beast's first stage evolution. As for numbers, 1 pile, 2 piles, 3 piles. It was a really big number. Shiyu looked at the low-level evolution resources of this scale and took a deep breath. With so many resources, it was completely no problem to evolve 100 iron-eating beasts into the 9 Li battle beasts of monarch races. Of course, it was a low-level monarch. If one wanted to evolve after multiplying like 11, this little resource definitely wouldn't be able to withstand 100 beasts. Shiyu finally understood why there were so few iron-eating beasts and second-stage evolution materials in the country. It was definitely for those feeders of the Emperor Wu dynasty to monopolize and hide in secret. Seeing these resources, Shiyu was undoubtedly very excited. Dong Huang had originally taken advantage of this seven-nation trade to buy a large number of iron-eating beast evolution resources from other countries. In addition to these, there was a chance for a panda army the size of hundreds of monarch races, all 9 Li battle beasts. If the 9 Li army of this scale collectively mastered impregnable above the expert level, they would be invincible below the totem level, and even overlords would be crushed, even if above their level. Senior G. Is there no high-level metal for iron-eating beasts to carve inscriptions in this ruined stone? However, although there were many low-level evolution resources that were worth being pleasantly surprised, Shiyu also discovered that apart from the meteorite fragment, there was no other level 8 metal for inscriptions in the ruined stone. As Ji Mengzhu repaired the ruins, she said, "These first-stage evolution materials are all prepared for the iron-eating beast cubs I brought over, and those high-level metals that can evolve in the second stage are left for the army. Only the number of meteorite fragments is enough. We got a portion of it." Shiyu was silent. That made sense. However, how many fragments had been beaten off of Yunnan by Emperor Wu? Shiyu sighed. Forget it, he had to be satisfied. With the meteorite fragment, it was already perfect. At least, no matter what, 11 could complete a new round of evolution. Shiyu was filled with joy. Then, he was even happier. Because he saw a pet that also entered the ruins from the outside through the crack. This was an overlord-level pet. It was 3 to 4 meters tall, had the black lower body of a horse, the black upper body of an ape, and black wings that looked like eagle wings. The hands on his upper body were also loaded with weapons that looked like black light swords. No, the repair speed can't keep up, at this moment, seeing an overlord-level ferocious beast enter, not to mention it being a strong overlord-level ferocious beast. Ji Mengzhu took a deep breath and frowned. She didn't forget Shiyu's words. This was a totem country. Shiyu was here to carry out a mission. If the overlords and totems of other totem countries came in, it would be as difficult to clean up as the black meteorite yak. However, to Ji Mingyu's surprise, after seeing this black-winged horse ape, not only was Shiyu not worried, but his eyes also lit up with starry light. Wasn't this one of the overlord modified beasts of the Seven Islands Ku Yuan Financial Group of Legend by Chuan? Legend Ku had said so previously. Why are you the only one in? Where's your beast tamer? Shiyu's eyes became happier. He suddenly recalled that the matter had yet to be completed. He still had to plunder this Legend by Chuan's beast-taming talent. With his rich experience, totems like the fox god and the black goat wouldn't rashly enter the ruins after seeing the scene just now. Instead, they would let their subordinates be the vanguard. It would be best if Bai Chuan came in alone. Now, Shiyu really wanted to meet a real legend in the ruins. He had several bold ideas regarding his body controller talent.